Alright, you know what time it is, baby. It's Friday, and that can only mean one thing. It's time for some five-star matchups, man. Steelers, Bills. You know I'm crazy excited about this. But before we go any further, make sure you like this vid, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, and of course hit that notification bell. But now it is time to get into these matchups. And the first matchup that we're going to be talking about today is the Pittsburgh Steelers pass rush versus Josh Allen. Now, we all know who Josh Allen is. He's a unicorn back there. Can beat you with his arms, can beat you with his legs, extends plays, is an all-world, top 5 player in the NFL. One of the guys that's going to be a finalist for the MVP and stuff like that. We know what he does, and we know that a lot of his success comes from when he's able to extend plays, when he's able to feel very comfortable in the pocket. But the flip side is this, man, with the Steelers in their pass rush, when they are on, that is when this defense is at its best. We obviously know week 1 was the prime example of that, but right now they don't have TJ Watt. So they're trying to figure out how can this pass rush continue to get to that elite level minus TJ. Well, it's going to come down to guys like Alex Highsmith, Cam Hayward, Larry Ogunjobi is another guy that I need to see more out of. And trust me, he's playing well. Don't get it twisted. But this game right here, this is one of those ones where you have to not only hit Josh Allen, you only have to pressure Josh Allen, you also have to contain him and keep him in the pocket. Because there's going to be some times where he's going to want to pull this ball down, or you're going to, get a hit on him, and he's going to be able to extend it because you're not pulling him down. Think vintage Ben Roethlisberger, right? In that vein, you weren't always bringing him down with just that first defender that would come through, with that first guy that would hit him. Same concept here. So for this Steelers pass rush, it's very important to stay relentless, but more so make sure they finish whenever they get a chance to hit Josh Allen. All right. Second matchup that we got to talk about. Cam Sutton, Levi Wallace versus Stefon Diggs. Now, Diggs is all world, all pro, Pro Bowler, whatever accolades you want to throw out there. He's in the running for it, man, because he's that type of player. His productivity since joining the Buffalo Bills, and more importantly, him and Josh Allen, I mean, it's been crazy. You know, the 1,000-yard seasons back-to-back, the double-digit touchdowns, the big playability, and he has that competitive dog in him as well, man. Definitely a receiver that, I'm a big fan of, obviously. But on the flip side, man, we got Cam Sutton, man, who's been doing his thing, man, continuing to create splash plays. The interceptions that he continues to come down with, the above the neck stuff that he does, has really helped him out in a major way this year. Levi Wallace, the familiarity. He was with Stefon Diggs the past couple of years in Buffalo, so you already know that they're very used to going at each other and stuff like that. But it's going to be critical that whenever they get matched up with Diggs, I know that they're not going to win all of them, but they have to remain super competitive in them, and that's the part of this thing, man. Fundamentally sound, no blown coverages, and hey, he's going to make his catches. Tackle the catch. Don't allow him to have that run after, because that is also something that makes Diggs really unique and really special. It's not just him getting the catches. He makes guys miss, and once he gets that ball in the open field, he can be electric. So that's going to be the big part when you talk about Cam Sutton and Levi Wallace. They got to tackle the catch whenever Diggs gets them opportunities. And trust me, you're going to get some chances to make some plays. Make those plays. But when Diggs makes his plays, just tackle the catch. Go to the next down. That's the big part right there. All right, now time for this third matchup. And I'm excited about this one as well, because we're going to get a chance to see how our guys can handle some of the adversity that they've endured based off of last week. And I'm talking Dan Moore and Chuks Okorafor versus Von Miller. Now, with Dan and Chuks, they have been playing really well at times throughout the regular season. And last week against the Jets, to me, it wasn't the same level of productivity and the same standard that they had been showing in the previous games. And I'm sure when they check the tape, they'll have a similar sentiment as well. But the thing I'm excited about is, how do they bounce back? How do they come back from that adversity, like we saw them in the preseason, where they struggled at times in the preseason, regular season hits? We saw how they overcame that adversity and, made themselves look really good out there. Well, now here we go again. You had some adversity last week. All right, what is it going to look like this week? Now for Chuks, you got familiarity with Von Miller. He's matched up with him, and he's had success against him. And from Von Miller's comments about Chuks, I mean, clearly it's a little bit of a mutual respect there. But Von is a heck of a player. Let's be real, man. Former Super Bowl MVP, future first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, this is one of the upper echelon of just historical pass rushers. That's what Von Miller is. And Newsflash, he's still playing at a very high level in Buffalo. I think he has 3 sacks right now. They also have another guy, Gregory Rousseau, with 4 sacks. But Vaughn is the leader. Vaughn is the guy that makes that D-line go. And he is going to play both sides. So both of these tackles, in terms of Dan and Chooks, are going to be matched up with him. Do not allow him to take over the game. He's going to make his plays, and that's fine. Those caliber plays, when you're talking about a Von Miller, you don't shut them dudes out, understandably so. But you can't allow them to have those performances where it's just like, man, we can't get a playoff. That's what can't happen in this matchup. And I don't anticipate it happening either. But that's the one that we really got to keep our eyes on, man, because we know what type of player Von Miller is. And when he gets going, yeah, we know he can really, handicap what you want to do offensively. All right, now it's time for the 4th matchup. And I'm excited about this one because it's a new player making their first debut on Arthur Moats' 5-star matchups, baby. I'm talking Kenny Pickett, KP8 versus Josh Allen. But we're not talking in that context. We're simply talking about the turnover battle between those two guys. Now, why is that important this week? Well, we obviously know that Kenny had 3 interceptions last week. Regardless of how we want to talk about it, those turnovers were turnovers, period. 4 turnovers as a team if you're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, when you talk about the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen, he puts the ball on the ground a lot. He doesn't lose a lot of the fumbles, but he does fumble a lot when he is the ball carrier. I think he has 4 fumbles on the season already, but he has not lost any of them, if I remember correctly. He will throw some interceptions. In terms of just because of how hard he throws that ball, man, when it comes off of guys' hands, it's ricocheting all over the place. So it's not necessarily him being inaccurate. It's just when it ricochets off of a receiver's hands, chest, shoulder pad, because of how hard he throws that ball, it kind of goes wherever. But it can lead to turnovers. And when we're talking about this particular matchup, how do you win if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers? Turnovers. You cannot turn the ball over, but you also have to capitalize on the turnovers that are, or turnover opportunities that are going to be presented. So with this, Kenny Pickett, still be aggressive. Still be the person that has made it where everybody's excited to have you out there. The reason why you were drafted 20th overall, right? I need all of that from you still. Use your legs and everything. Moxie, all the other good intangibles that we like to talk about. But you have to protect the ball. Regardless of who, what, when, however we want to point fingers, ball security is critical in this matchup because this is not a game where you want to allow that Bills offense to have extra possessions. This is a matchup where the Steelers need to have all the possessions that they can get. So number 1, not turning the ball over will give you that. But number 2, whenever Josh or this Bills team puts the ball on the ground, you got to get that. All right. So Kenny, protect that ball. Because like I said, man, the Bills, they do operate with a little bit of offensive arrogance in that sense because they know how dominant they are. They know a turnover doesn't kill them. 2 turnovers doesn't kill them. So when you see them out there, they operate like that. And Josh Allen is one of the prime catalysts of that kind of laissez-faire, nonchalant ball security at times. So that's why it's going to be extra critical for Kenny to not operate like that as well. All right. But now it's time for the 5th and final matchup for today's 5-star matchups. And we got to talk about offensive coordinator Matt Canada versus defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier. Matt Canada, in my opinion, I thought in the second half last week when Kenny Pickett got out there, he caught a really good game. I thought that he did some good things conceptually to ultimately highlight some of the things that Kenny could do well, giving him some opportunities to get on the move. Also calling certain, just understanding what identity or what a tendency from the Jets were in terms of going man-to-man coverage in certain tight red zone or situational downs and understanding, hey, man, let's go bunch concepts. Let's do these, do certain man beaters. I like that from Matt Canada, but we're going to need more. We're going to need him to really button up this game plan this week to where it, number 1, can highlight what Kenny does well and can put that on display and really give him the opportunities to stretch the field and kind of open this offense up. But number 2, you got to also understand when to be aggressive and when to protect Kenny from himself. And that is on Matt Canada. I understand that rookies make rookie mistakes, but you also can't put rookies in situations where their probability of success is really, really low. Those are some of the things that will be on Matt Canada, because Leslie Frazier's a heck of a defensive coordinator. You look at his track record since he's been in Buffalo, man, the dude has had the Buffalo Bills defense as a top-notch unit each and every year. I know we joke about the 13 seconds, but that's 13 seconds against Patrick Mahomes. You show me another quarterback that's done that 13 seconds, then gets this Bills Leslie Frazier-led defense. You're not seeing that. So with that being the case, Matt Canada's going to have to be on his best behavior. He's going to be on his A game and make sure that, like I said, he highlights Kenny where he needs to, but he protects Kenny at the same time, because Leslie Frazier and this Bills defense is going to be hunting. They're going to be excited, because why not? As a defender, we always love to play against rookie quarterbacks. So that's why Matt Canada has to do his thing, man. But those are my 5-star matchups for this Steelers-Bills game. You know I can't wait. The Battle of I-79 is what we're calling it, baby. But either way, y'all let me know your thoughts on these matchups, and if there's some other matchups that y'all are looking forward to as well. But either way, I greatly appreciate you for tuning in, and until next time, baby, peace.